Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies, we are a little bit late here. We had some technical difficulties. We've got Hawkeye that's just been disqualified for going the wrong way. We are about 2, maybe 3 minutes into this qualifying session, I believe. Again, I do apologise for the technical difficulties. My name's JP. I'm your commentator here tonight. And yeah, some technical difficulties. This was meant to be on the VRL YouTube page, but unfortunately, just a few malfunctions going on prevented us from doing that. But at least we are here. At least we are live and currently out on track. Many drivers. Emery Kirker is out there. I believe he will be the first driver to cross the line. And we just await him now. Round the final couple of corners, taking a big bite out of the sausage curd there as he comes through. But should now all be good as he now comes to the actual final corner. And obviously goes fastest. 1 minute 31.5. The dude PS goes into P2 with a 1 minute 32.7. And then we have Skyline with a 34.9. Now, Vegas, always a bit of a difficult track, is Vegas. As we can see, Lee Dog on his lap currently. X-Furtos goes up to P2 with a 1 minute 32.4. Papa Rim into third with a 1 minute 32.6. And I'm just trying to make sure we are live. I need to get the Twitch up on my phone. I do apologise, ladies and gentlemen. It's been quite the rush, I must say. But we are now here. We are live. Perfect. Okay, brilliant. Right, we are all good to go then. So we now have, I think it's about 12 minutes left, or 13 minutes left, sorry, of qualifying. Here's Tortuguita to the line for Red Bull and slots in to P5 with a 1 minute 32.8. Next man to cross the line will be Lee Dog. He's just coming into the final corner. Lee Dog is definitely one of the quicker drivers you would imagine in the Viking Racing League. And Lee Dog to the final corner now. Runs out of battery very early. Is that going to cost him? It might have cost him a bit of time. He's about a tenth and a half off of his Sauber compatriot, Emery Kirker. Slots into P2 with a 1 minute 31.6. The two Saubers, the only two drivers to be in the 1 minute 31s as we speak. To be West is just going on to his first flying lap. And he makes his way through the turn 1 and 2 complex, which is very hard for traction. Seems like he's negotiated it well, though. And 2B West flies towards the end of the first sector now. It's a 26.5 first sector split for him. And that's definitely not a bad time, I don't believe. Admittedly, I don't know sector times here at Vegas impressively well. So maybe that is really slow. I'm not 100% sure, but 2B West now through towards the end of the second sector. And down the iconic Las Vegas Strip, you can see the Paris Hotel, the GM Hotel. This road that is normally so busy with the hustle and bustle of Las Vegas, now busy with the hustle and bustle of Formula 1 cars. 2B West invalidated through the final chicane. So we now look to see Brazil, who is just coming through that final chicane. And here he comes then, round the final corner. See Brazil, it's a 1 minute 32.7. He's only 10 milliseconds off of the dude PS. We now look to Rassam, who is about to come into the second sector. And it says it's purple on the track map, but I do believe the track map likes to say that things are purple when it's not. So we shall see if that is truly purple when he gets towards the line. DRS wide open on the Williams. And here we go then. Through the final chicane. Tornado Kane has left the session. I wonder if that's maybe a technical glitch. Here we are on board with Rassam, just coming through the final corner now. Goes into P8 with a 132.9. We've got technically four drivers that have not set a lap. Those being Tornado Kane, 2B West and XRL Flavor. Hawkeye obviously disqualified right at the start of this stream due to going the wrong way, going off into the runoff, and was disqualified trying to get back on the track, which is most certainly not what you would want to be doing. Here we go then with XRL Flavor. He's on his out lap, so we'll just be trying to get the tyres into the perfect little window, and then we will see what performance this car really has underneath it as he comes through the final chicane, using some of the battery as he makes his way towards the line. Now, a lot of people's strategy here is to save most of your battery for exactly where Emre Kirker is, this main straight here, the Las Vegas Strip. Emre already a 10th up on his lap, and he's already about a 10th and a half clear of Leadog in P2. Well, Emre Kirker already looking to go quicker on his second flying lap as he comes now into this chicane. Again, clouting the curbs, riding right over them. That looked very tight and neat from Emre Kirker, who now will come to the final corner. Has a little bit of battery he can deploy, and that will take him 2 tenths faster, a 1 minute 31.3. And Emre Kirker absolutely flying out there. XRL Flavor has invalidated. Rassam's coming into the pits. Tortuguita is just going onto a lap, and that was a big slide there from Tortuguita. We've got the Dude PS just coming through turn 1 and 2. Tortuguita still a 10th and a half up, even with that slide. So there's a lot of time in the pocket for Tortuguita. You can see him drifting around the Las Vegas International Circuit here. This is legendary stuff from Tortuguita. Definitely does not care about the wear on those rear tyres. I really didn't think he was going to get it slowed down there, but he has managed to make it in. He's now about half a tenth down, and that didn't look like the best exit as we go on to the Las Vegas Strip. And Tortuguita now just has one braking zone to try and deal with. He slams the brakes now, and that did seem quite late, and it is a little bit deep from Tortuguita, but it is going to get him through the corner. Little kiss of the wall on the outside. And here we go then with Tortuguita round the final corner. And Tortuguita stays P7, does not improve on his second flying lap. Tornado Kane, 2B West and XRL Flavor are all out there in their own little pack. So the three drivers that are yet to set times, very close to each other. I do just want to go on board with this Haas. As you can see him just a little bit out of shape. He's not too close to the McLaren, so shouldn't be getting really any dirty air. To be West now with one corner to go, and that being the final corner. And he comes through that final chicane now. Is there time in it for 2B West? Well, you'd hope there's time in it. He doesn't actually have a lap time at the minute, so you definitely hope he goes faster than no lap time whatsoever. Comes to the line now, goes into P4 with a 1 minute 32.2. Now we look to XRL Flavor, who's coming into the pits. So Tornado Kane successfully managing to rejoin the session, and he slots in to P6 with a 1 minute 32.4. And now we look to X Furtos, currently the man in third place, one of only 3 drivers to be in the 1 minute 31s. Currently a 1 minute 31.9 for X Furtos. You would imagine he will go quicker. As onto the Las Vegas Strip we go with X Furtos. Haas livery shimmering under the lights here in Las Vegas. Definitely one of my picks for best livery of this season. As he makes his way into the final corner, is very, very deep there. And you would imagine, yes, X Furtos is going to come into the pits after that. Lee Dog is currently on an out lap. 2B West will be on an in lap. Tornado Kane's invalidated. C Brazil has improved his lap time by about 2/10. Vigo is just going onto his lap. Took a nasty clout of the wall there. And that definitely isn't the line you want to be taking. Tortuguita looks like he's going for another lap on that set of soft compound tyres. Got enough fuel in it. Is there going to be time in it for him though? Definitely a difficult track to try and make that gain. The Ferrari of Vigo dives out of the way off the racing line, and Tortuguita now into the final chicane. Looks a little bit neater than the first time he went through, but is it quicker? Tortuguita now flying towards the final corner in the Red Bull. Comes across the line, does improve by 2/10 and just goes ahead of Vigo, who is coming into the pits himself. So nobody on a lap at the minute then. And Lee Dog just going on to one, so perfect timing. We will now stick with Lee Dog. You'd imagine this will be either his last lap or his penultimate lap in this session. Still 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go of this qualifying session. So plenty of time for him to try and improve through the first sector. How's it looking? 2 milliseconds up. Needs about a 3.5 improvement to beat Emre Kirker. So this is definitely not going to be easy for Lee Dog. Although the second sector you'd imagine is where he'll gain his time. A little bit of a power drift out of that corner there. And now makes his way towards the Las Vegas Strip. Give yourself a little bit of a break mentally and just drive. He is invalidated though, has Lee Dog. So that's going to be interesting then, as Emre Kirk is still in the pits. Furtos is coming out. Tornado Kane's coming out. Tubi's coming out. Rassam's coming out. Vigo's coming out. Tortuguita is all... I believe he'll dive into the pits and that'll be his qualifying session over. But Lee Dog is only going to get one shot at this, I believe. It looks like he's got the fuel for it. But Lee Dog is only going to get one chance to try and fight for pole position, and that is going to put all the pressure in the world on him. Onto his lap he goes now then. Emre Kirker is just emerging out of the pits on those brand new soft tyres. Lee Dog has got a mighty job ahead of him if he wants to try and dethrone Emre Kirker at the top here. This is not going to be easy for the Sauber driver. DRS wide open, draining the overtake button. Might get a little bit of a distance slipstream, but he will have traffic to negotiate through. Gets it turned in nicely. Is there time gain in it? No. Well, yeah, there is, sorry. Instead of 2 milliseconds gained, it's only 13 milliseconds this time, so it's improvement in the first sector from what the last lap was. But is it going to be quicker through here? He doesn't have the little drift that he did. He just needs to make sure he doesn't invalidate. We'll stick on board with the Sauber driver. This is where he invalidated. Is he going to leave much margin? No, he's going to clout right over the curb, but he's had a moment on the exit. And that is surely Lee Dog's lap absolutely ruined. He's still using the overtake button. He's still trying to get the most out of it that he can. But Lee Dog with a massive mistake, just applying the power a little bit too early. Car not able to live with it. And Lee Dog, that's surely going to be qualifying over for him. He will start a best of second place. He's diving into the pits just as Emre Kirker goes on his final lap. X-Fertos is nearly 3/10 up and could actually try and demote Leadog down to second. I'm sure he won't know what's going on with the Sauber ahead of him, but X-Fertos has got a chance to put this on the front row, as does 2B West. He's about half a tenth up. X-Fertos now racing down the Las Vegas Strip. Surely an opportunity for him. That's qualifying over then. Leadog, Tornado Kane, Tortuguita and Skyline won't get any laps on the board. X-Fertos will be the first driver to set a lap, but he's invalidated through the final chicane. You could not write it. He now makes his way into the pits, and we now look to Rassam, who is currently in 11th. Is there improvement in it for Rassam? He goes up to P9. 2B West comes into the pits. The dude PS has invalidated. Vigo is now coming to the line for Ferrari. Is there time in it for him? He goes up into P7. Papa Rim will immediately reply to that. Only needs a few milliseconds improvement and gets it up to P4. We now look as the dude PS spinning round the final corner. Emre Kirker goes massively faster. XRL Flavor goes up into 4th. So the last man to set a lap will be C Brazil. Can he try and demote Emre Kirker? Not a chance. And what an end to qualifying that was. And Emre Kirker over half a second clear of the rest of the field. Absolutely insane stuff from Emre. It's Leadog who will line up in second. X-Fertos will be third, with XRL Flavor with a late lap putting him in 4th. C Brazil went 5th. It's Papa Rim in 6th with 2B West in 7th. The Dude PS in 8th. Tornado Kane 9th. And Vigo rounding off the top 10 with Rassam, Tortuguita, Skyline and Hawkeye claiming 11th to 14th respectively. Well, don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a corker of a 25-lap shootout here in Las Vegas. The Grand Prix is up next. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. Formation lap time. And the drivers now just look to warm up their tyres. And here we go then. Just getting myself all set up. 2B West has been disqualified immediately. It's very rare you only see one driver get disqualified. Now we've got Rassam and Skyline both disqualified as well. So don't know what's going on there. Emery Kirker's really getting on with this formation lap. He does not want to hang about as we look to the tyre situation. All mediums for the top six. It sends 2B West in 7th on hard tyres. The dude PS on mediums. Tornado Kane starting on the softs. The only soft runner. Definitely confident plays from him. It's then Rassam and Tortuguita on the mediums with Skyline on the hards and Hawkeye on the medium tyres. Emery Kirker, I must say, is really getting on with this. You see where everyone is. He's already coming down the Las Vegas Strip. Lee Dog only just getting onto it, as Emery Kirker is already about halfway round. So that's definitely an interesting strategy from Emery. Those tyres will really cool down, but you can see the amount of weaving he's doing to try and generate some tyre temperature. You would hope for him they're absolutely boiling hot, because he is going to be waiting a long time. There's your possible race strategies, a 2-stop or a 3-stop. So it's looking like the 2-stop is going to be the preferred strategy around here. Maybe someone like Vigo, Skyline or 2B West might try and 1-stop. Emery Kirker's really slowed down to let the pack catch back up. But I can imagine 2B West and Skyline aren't going to have great starts. Starting on the hard tyres, Emery Kirker has got himself disqualified for an illegal parking position. So Lee Dog might have a great chance at this. It looks like he's nailed the parking. Emery Kirker could be under threat here at the start. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. It's 5 red lights ahead of the drivers, ahead of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go. They were held for a while. Emery Kirker already looking to chop off Lee. And into turn 1, he retains his lead. It's X-Fertos in third. Little bit squirrely there from the Haas driver. They all seem to be through cleanly. Tornado Kane losing positions at the back. Skyline already down to last as Hawkeye makes up 2 positions. VRL C Brazil is trying to attack XRL Flavor, who just has to back out of it and is really backing out of it because now here comes the dude PS up the inside and he's now up into 5th place. We've got some wheel-to-wheel action here between 2B West and Papa Rim, and 2B nearly into the back of the McLaren there, trying to brake later. Has he got the move done? Papa Rim will not give up this fight, but eventually he just has to concede the position as there in the background, Vigo rounding into the wall. And was that contact with another driver? We do not know. He manages to get the car spun back round, but that is big damage for the Ferrari as we see the dude PS manage to get up into 4th place. And it looks like there's been a big incident here because look how many cars are all sat with each other. And the 2 Saubers and Furtos have really managed to race away. And we're almost 5 abreast here as we go down the Las Vegas Strip. What a battle that's unfolding here. On lap 1 of 25, we're going to go on board with Skyline. There's 3 abreast into the final chicane. Surely they can't all get through cleanly. They have managed it, but then the dude PS straight into the wall. Doesn't get any damage, luckily for him, but is going to lose a massive handful of positions. Now down into 9th place. And Tortuguita looks like he's going to be passed by Rassam. Rassam's going to hold that inside line. And eventually does manage to get that move made. Tortuguita still with a wheel up the inside. Will try and fight this back. But unfortunately just doesn't have the pace to. Vigo comes into the pits then. And the 2 Saubers absolutely flying away out in front together. Then it's X-Fertos, who's really in a bit of no man's land here. 2.8 second gap ahead of him. 3.2 second gap behind him. And then you have the massive train of Las Vegas from 12th all the way up to 4th, all trying to share the same piece of tarmac. Absolutely wonderful stuff here on this opening lap of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. 2B West doing very well to stick with them, but then goes into the back of the Williams. Somehow the dude PS manages to hold on to the car, but surely that's going to give 2B a great chance to try and get a move. But is that really legal? That's the question that will be asked in the steward's room. 2B West doesn't care. He's going for it down the inside and manages to get the move made. As ahead, you can see XRL Flavor and Papa Rim fighting away. XRL Flavor up into 4th. C Brazil has lost a few positions, but there we see Papa Rim now off into the wall, out of the final chicane. Manages to keep it out of the wall to the point where he gets damage. He doesn't have any damage on that car, but has lost a handful of positions. And there, he is just, from what I can only describe, put the dude PS in the wall, who is having a torrid race so far. The amount of contact that the dude PS has had in these opening 3 laps has been absolutely horrible. And it doesn't end there, as into the wall he goes. And now big damage for the Williams. And the question is, what was the driver he was battling thinking? And this is only going to gain time for the likes of Furtos and the 2 Saubers ahead. Emre Kirker still leads Lee Dog. It's then Furtos in 3rd, who can just about see the Saubers ahead of him. XRL Flavor is in 4th and can just about see X Furtos. It's then C Brazil, who is in 5th, looking to take back that 4th place. 2B West currently running in 6th. Hawkeye from the back of the grid now up into 7th. And here's where the real battling will start then. Is Lee able to try and make a move on Emre? He doesn't look like it. Doesn't really look like he wants to. He's more than happy just to sit behind for the time being. Here comes C Brazil on XRL Flavor. Easy of a move as you're ever going to see in the Las Vegas Grand Prix. And the Aston Martin moves past the McLaren and back up into 4th place. Everyone running cleanly so far. That is, unless you're the dude PS, who is really struggling with that damage and will be coming into the pit lane to get rid of that front wing. Tornado Kane still on the soft compound tyres. I can't imagine they are performing the best. Vigo currently down in 14th after that lap 1 contact. The 2 Staubers still leading out in front from Furtos. C Brazil using his battery to make sure that Flavor can't get past him. A little bit of lift and coast there from Flavor, just to try and recharge some more of the battery. But everyone running cleanly so far. This battle, instead of being from 4th to 12th, now from 4th to 8th. Only 4 cars involved at the minute, although everyone is still pretty close. Hawkeye just out of the DRS range, and then you've got Rassam and Papa Rim. Hawkeye moves himself up into 7th place ahead of Rassam. As here we go then, down the Las Vegas Strip. Is there time in it for Flavor to try and get back past C Brazil? Is 2B West maybe looking for an opportunist move on the hard compound tyres? Here's your DRS, and he is gaining is the McLaren. The outside line is what he chooses, but really backs out of it, and that's going to give the opportunity immediately to 2B West to say thank you very much, up the inside I come, and 2B West moves up into 5th place. And that was definitely a weird time to back out of it there. Flavor definitely would have had the move, and instead of moving up to 4th, he now moves down to 6th. Lap 5 of 25 of this Las Vegas Grand Prix, and it is still Emre Kirker that leads from pole position. The dude PS manages to get through on Tornado Kane and up into 12th position. But these 2 Saubers really proving their worth out in front. Absolutely dominating the field in recent races. Last week in Austria we had the reverse sprint race, and both of them won a sprint and a feature each, and looking to continue dominating here tonight. Lee Dog just using a bit of overtake to rock up to the back of Emre Kirker, get a little bit of overspeed on him, but these two just in the form of their lives, Emre Kirker and Lee Dog, and it does look like maybe Lee's going to think about going for a move here. He pulls to the outside line Emre just deploying a bit of battery. Now Lee Dog is deploying as well as the DRS is going to get enabled. The two Saubers, our first fight here under the lights in Las Vegas. And Lee Dog surely going to go through up into the lead. So goodbye Emre Kirker and his chance of a Grand Slam is into the wall there. A little tap for Emre. No damage for him. But the two leaders, their first little battle comes to an end. And it's Lee Dog that comes out on top and is now the leader of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Ex-Fertos still runs in third. It's Rassam now in fifth as he manages to get past 2B West. Now looking to try and make a move on the Aston Martin. Around the outside of turn one, definitely not the easiest place to make a move. Tightens up quite quickly. Rassam will figure that one out as he goes on. A little bit wider goes Brazil though. And now with the DRS, is Rassam going to move himself up into fourth place? He chooses the outside line. And that fourth place is his. Brazil will try and hang it later on the brakes. But unfortunately for him, it isn't a move to be made. And Rassam moves up into fourth. It is C Brazil in fifth with 2B West in sixth. And you can see how close everyone is there. Hawkeye also involved in that fight. Papa Rim also involved in that fight. And this battle grows once more. C Brazil will have a great chance of getting past Rassam. Plenty more battery than his adversary. And Emre Kirker has actually been dropped here by Lee Dog. Lee Dog is flying away out in front. Doesn't want to sit behind Emre Kirker anymore. Doesn't want Emre Kirker to sit behind him. The gap 1.3 seconds. And Lee Dog wants to get his foot down and win this race. Ex-Fertos still running in third. A nice calm race for Ex-Fertos. Definitely a race that you would like. A little bit of contact there into the braking zone between C Brazil and Rassam as C Brazil manages to get back up into fourth place. Is Rassam going to try and fight that round the outside of the final corner? It's a drag race to the line here. Who is going to win it out as we go into turn one? We know the inside line is probably the preferred line into turn one. Is Rassam going to be able to make a move around the outside? Yes, he is. A great move there from Rassam to move himself back up into fourth place. And that is an absolutely gorgeous move there from the Williams driver. Everyone else running in sync so far. And this battle is only going to heat up as we get less and less laps towards the end. It's currently Rassam that leads this train, but I imagine we'll have about 25 different leaders of this train by the time we get to the end of lap 25. Now the question is, when do these guys decide to come into the pits? Because the undercut really could make or break your race here at Las Vegas, especially with it being a two-stop. Gives you two opportunities to try and gain some time on your rivals. We've got a yellow flag, and that's VRL C Brazil. Looks like he's gone into the runoff there, and the man that was running fourth at one point, now down into 10th place. There's no damage on that Aston Martin, but now down into the final points paying position. Skyline, with a lot of overspeed, is looking to try and get himself past as we blast towards the braking zone. Is there a move on here for the McLaren driver? C goes very, very deep in his defence into the runoff once more. And C Brazil now down to 11th and struggling to get it turned round in the runoff area. Manages to get back going, but now in 11th place and miles behind everyone else. The two Alpines battling away through turn two. And here we go then. Hawkeye towards the inside, just decides to back out of it. The McLaren getting very close there. A little bit of contact as we go into the braking zone. An XRL Flavour just chilling out for the time being. That has really given a gap though for 2B West and Rassam to just continue on in this race and not worry about the cars behind them. Lap 8 of 25 of this Las Vegas Grand Prix, and Lee Dog is really dropping Emre Kirker here. I didn't notice the gap. 3.4 seconds between the two Saubers. And Lee Dog, the second that he got past Emre, that was it. He decided he was gone. And this is crazy, crazy pace from Lee Dog. We know that he's quick, but my word, this is otherworldly. As now a gap is formed between Tubi and Rassam. And the gaps all just open themselves up now. Closest battle on track is Tortuguita versus XRL Flavor. And the two Alpines battling away with each other as well. Now we know, you would imagine these two Alpines will give each other a little bit more room. As you definitely don't want to come to blows with your teammate. That is most certainly for sure. Now down the Las Vegas Strip, there's a Haas ahead of Lee Dog. You can only assume that is the soon to be lapped car of Tornado Kane. And you can see the blue flags as Emre Kirker has made his way into the pit lane. Lee Dog manages to negotiate his way past the lapped car. Now the question is, where does Emre Kirker come out? He comes out in P7 just behind the two Alpines, and there's big contact there as he comes out the pit lane. He is very, very lucky to not have damage there, is Emre Kirker. But I'm sure he will be saying some words that I can't repeat in the cockpit. And down in 7th, and that is the trouble when you pit early and try the undercut, is you get stuck in this traffic. And now looking for some unorthodox moves, getting frustrated, is Emre. Does finally manage to make his way through and up into 6th place, but definitely no love lost between Emre and Paparim. His next target will be Hawkeye. And this will surely be an easy move for Emre. Hawkeye really not going to fight it. And Hawkeye is dispatched. Emre Kirker now up into 5th. His next target will be the other hard runner of Tubi West. And you would imagine that will be just as easy as a move. Gap now only 6/10 between the Red Bull and the Sauber. Fastest final sector for Emre Kirker. A lot of understeer in the dirty air though. And that is going to keep Emre Kirker behind as Skyline comes into the pit lane. A little bit of a wobble there for Tubi West. And Emre Kirker surely going to be getting frustrated behind the rear wing of this Red Bull. And he's just going to have to live with it for a little bit longer. Tubi West making that car as wide as possible. Using a bit of battery as well. Both of them with a lot of battery though. It's Emre that will get the DRS. And that will surely breeze him past. A much better exit for Emre. Is Tubi going to fight it? He's going to sit in front of him for the time being. Tubi not using any overtake though. And through goes Emre up into 4th place. And the gap to leader, 21.8 seconds for Emre. Lee Dog has gone through for another lap. Furtos, 17 seconds behind Lee, is now coming into the pit lane. Rassam also late call diving into the pit lane. So Emre Kirker now back up into 2nd place. 21 seconds behind his adversary Lee Dog, as Hawkeye also makes his way into the pits. Paparim stays out and inherits 4th place. And this is a little bit of a battle here between Tortuguita and Hawkeye, as Hawkeye comes out the pit lane. He's actually going to be passed here by the dude PS, and that is not going to be good for Hawkeye's race. As there, you can see the dude PS running very wide though, late on the brakes, little bit of a moment. And now XRL Flavor on the back of the Williams. That's perfect for Hawkeye, straight back through and up into 8th place. Now sets his sights once again on Tortuguita. Here we go then, very wide there was Hawkeye. And is there a chance for him to get past? Lee Dog comes into the pits, and this is going to be very close between the two Saubers as they come out the pit lane. It's a 3-lap delta that Lee Dog managed to build himself, though, with just simply being quicker in the race. And Lee Dog now surely has a brilliant chance to win this one. Emre Kirker is going to go for it, though. Just has to back out of it. Just needed maybe even 50 meters more straight line to try and make a move. But unfortunately for Emre, that will not be the case. But he is now right on the back of Lee. His only little gripe will be that he is 3 laps behind. 3 laps behind on tyres, should I say. Definitely not been lapped 3 times, Emre Kirker. If that ever happened, I would definitely be pinching myself, thinking I'm dreaming. The two Alpines still continuing their battle. They've got Tortuguita just ahead of them. XRL Flavor is also involved in that fight. And XRL Flavor definitely proving to be one of the calmer drivers on the grid. Emre Kirker does manage to get back through into the lead of this race. Lee Dog now demoted to 2nd, but I'm sure Lee won't have any real concerns with that. Lee has a little, well, nearly double Emre's battery. Obviously, Lee won't know that, but he will know that he's got much better tyres than Emre, and that will definitely be willing him on, especially when they see that they are 7.5 seconds clear of 2B West, who's yet to pit. Furtos 16 seconds behind, and that shows you how incredibly quick these two Sauber drivers are. Absolutely insane. As Hawkeye manages to get through on Tortuguita and up into 7th place. And the two Alpines now try and set their sights on Rassam. But this race now just cools down a little bit, with all the first pit stops being made. All the gaps open themselves up just a tiny little bit. But the fight at the front definitely is not calming down. Lee Dog still more than happy to sit behind Emre for the time being. He's not showing any signs of being worried about sitting behind his Sauber compatriot. But we know when Lee Dog gets past, he can certainly try and make a move. As XRL Flavor now manages to get through on Tortuguita and up into 8th place. See Brazil looking to try and get past Skyline for the final points paying position. As we now see 2B West dive into the pit lane, the Dude PS picks up a 3-second penalty. And definitely relatively easy to pick up penalties around here. So I must say I'm a little bit surprised by the lack of penalties. Lap 15 of 25. 10 laps to go here under the lights in Vegas. And only 2 drivers with penalties thus far. Definitely testament to the rest of the grid. Lee Dog does look like he's going for it now on Emre Kirker. He's spent enough time, sat behind his teammate, and Lee Dog now moves through, getting really squeezed to the inside. And Lee Dog back into the lead, but he's gone wide in doing so, and Emre Kirker flies back through, tags the wall in doing so. I don't believe I saw any damage on the Sauber, and Lee is going to fight this back now with the better exit, and the 2 Sauber drivers, their battle really starting to heat up now as Emre parks it on the curb so Lee can't get the switch back. And Emre Kirker doing everything he can to try and save his race. He knows that his strategy has brought him back in with maybe a fighting chance. Is he going to be able to take that chance? He's making it work so far. He forced Lee in deep, forcing him to the inside. Is he able to try and replicate something like that? Rassam has really brought himself back into this race and now manages to get past Exfertos up into 3rd. And if Rassam can pull off a podium here, I mean, we'll look at the position change. He's up 8 places as the Dude PS comes in to retire in the pit lane. And to be honest, I do not blame him after the race he had. Definitely involved in his fair share of incidents. That is for sure. Hawkeye is currently up 9 places. Is Lee Dog finally going to get the move done on Emre Kirker? Once again, Emre forces him all the way to the inside. But this time, Lee Dog does get that move done. And he is now back into the lead. Lee Dog will try and fight him back, but Lee, with plenty more battery, will be able to keep that position, although Emre does look like he's going to go for it. Down the inside at turn 1, much later on the brakes, Lee swoops around the outside, manages to keep the position, and now, with the DRS, is Emre going to go for it? Lee Dog has much more battery. Emre looks like he just wants to have a sniff at it, but knows that nothing will come of it and will have to stay in 2nd place for the time being. And this battle really heating up between the 2 Saubers now. And the question is, are we going to see Lee Dog maybe try and run away with this once more? Emre, there is an opportunity for him to try and get back past. Lee has much more battery, but Emre will have the DRS. Lee Dog doesn't want to use as much battery as Emre is. And Emre moves by back up into the lead of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. And you can see Lee is definitely a lot more calm. He's not forcing Emre to the inside. He's not trying to bait him in deep. He's just happy to follow him. Happy to run his own race. He believes he's got the pace to win this one. And he is most certainly looking to prove it. Hawkeye manages to get through on his teammate and up into 5th place. And a great race here from Hawkeye. Definitely one of the shouts for driver of the day thus far. Next closest battle will be Skyline versus C Brazil. That is the battle for 10th place. But it looks like C Brazil has got that position for good. Tortuguita is going to look for a move through the turn 1 and 2 complex on XRL Flavor. Nothing doing for the Red Bull driver at the minute though. Not using his overtake button. Happy to sit behind for the time being. Alpine, I must say, having a very good day out in Las Vegas at the minute. Currently running 5th and 6th. And the two of them definitely doing battle, but not too hard. As we see here, Lee Dog very close to the back of Emre Kirker. He's got the DRS, he's got the battery advantage. He moves to the outside line this time. Doesn't want to be forced to the inside. Emre will try and fight it. Doesn't have the grip to do so though on the brakes. And Emre Kirker now back down to 2nd. Lee returns to the lead of this race. You can hear the revs going absolutely crazy on board with Emre Kirker. Full traction, it would sound like, for Emre Kirker. As Tortuguita and XRL Flavor wheel to wheel here as we go through the final corner. Who is going to come out on top of this fight? It's going to be XRL Flavor as Tortuguita just bashes into the wall. But still with him. And I don't believe any damage for Tortuguita. There isn't. So definitely still with more than a fighting chance. And Lee Dog on this lap has really put his foot down and is flying away from Emre Kirker once more. We've seen this once before from Lee Dog. Well, he's trying it again, and a mistake there from Emre in his pursuit of his Sauber compatriot. And Emre Kirker has well and truly been dropped once more. The gap now 2.2 seconds between Lee and Emre. And just in one lap that gap has been pulled. Lee Dog assuredly on his way to yet another victory here in the Viking Racing League. Rassam is running in 3rd, and what a result this would be for Rassam. Yes, 15 seconds off the two Saubers as Lee Dog sets the fastest lap of the race, but Rassam with a brilliant performance from towards the back of the grid. A podium position is definitely not something he would have expected. Ex-Furtos probably won't be too happy with losing that position to Rassam. Was running very comfortably in 3rd place until the pit stops. Papa Rim and Hawkeye still battling away in 5th and 6th. And a great day for Sauber. 2B West is just behind them out of the DRS. It's then XRL Flavor who's pulled a little bit of a gap on Tortuguita. It's then C Brazil who runs in the final points paying position of 10th. Skyline is in 11th and has just been dropped a little bit. And then it's Vigo after that lap 1 spin who is down in 12th. And Tornado Kane definitely not having the ideal day out here in Las Vegas. 13th for him, with our one and only retirement so far being the Dude PS. Lee Dog now 4 seconds clear of Emre Kirker. Flying along is Lee, putting out about 2 seconds a lap on the car behind him, and that just shows you the pace that Lee Dog has. Closest battle on track is still between the two Alpines, and they've really been putting a showing on for us tonight. Hawkeye and Papa Rim, the pair of them giving it absolutely everything to beat each other, and at the moment only 0.3 of a second that can separate them. Tortuguita's managed to get himself back in the DRS of XRL Flavour. And these really are the closer battles on track. The gaps really opened themselves up after the first round of pit stops. We've got a yellow flag, and that's for Vigo, who's once again backwards and into the wall. Manages to get himself spun back around and will continue on, albeit with a little bit of damage. Tornado Kane will look to unlap himself and does so. And Vigo definitely not having the ideal day out thus far. Is going to continue running in this race though. Slowly makes his way out of the chicane and is going to dive into the pits. 5.2 seconds. The gap now out in front. And the gap between the two Alpines has just gone up in the last lap or so. Tortuguita still balancing on the edge of trying to get in the DRS of XRL Flavour. Will get it this lap. Vigo comes into the pits to manually retire. And can you really blame him after a weekend like this? Tortuguita just not close enough to the McLaren ahead to try and make a move. We're on lap 22 of 25 here. And Lee Dog pulling about a second a lap on his teammate behind him. Emre Kirker fought hard when he could, but eventually Lee Dog with the better strategy and really just a better pace. Lee Dog has been absolutely rapid here tonight, and there is nothing that Emre could do to stop him. He did what he could and he fought very hard. Fair play to Emre. But Lee Dog just about to lap Tornado Kane for the second time this race. Might even pick up some DRS off of the back of the lapped Haas here. He will. So that'll help him in his pursuit away. Tornado Kane moves to the inside line to let the Sauber driver through. And Lee Dog moves safely through. Towards lap 23 we go. And this has been a dream weekend for Lee Dog. Absolutely flying along. And when he came to Las Vegas today, this is definitely the sort of race that he would have hoped for. Emre Kirker will have to settle for second. It's definitely not a bad result. But after qualifying on pole by such a margin as well, he really would have expected more here today. Unfortunately for Emre, it didn't come through for him, but another second place is definitely not something to grovel at. Rassam currently in third. Looks like it'll stay that way for the Williams driver with a brilliant, brilliant result here tonight. Ex-Furtos in fourth. I feel will maybe be a little bit upset with fourth place after running so comfortably in third for such a long time. Send Papa Rim and Hawkeye in fifth and sixth. And these two Alpines have been stuck to each other like glue for this entire race distance. Send Tubi West in seventh, who's had a little bit of a more difficult race, but definitely put up some good fights. XRL Flavour in 8th with Tortuguita in 9th. And again, these two have been stuck to each other. Then Skyline in 10th with C Brazil in 11th after his little incident. And then Tornado Kane currently running in 12th. Just behind Emre Kirker, who's lapped him for the second time. But the penultimate lap of this Grand Prix we are now on. And Lee Dog really proving that he is top dog here tonight. Under the lights in Vegas, known as the gambling capital of the world. He took a bit of a gamble on the strategy, and look how it's paid off for him. Now 9.5 seconds clear of Emre Kirker, pulling out over a second a lap on everyone. And this is absolutely phenomenal pace from Lee Dog. Really doesn't have to do anything now, doesn't have to push. But Lee is down to earth a racer, and he will want to try and be as quick as he can until that checkered flag falls. And what a race it's been from Lee. Nothing getting in his way. And when Emre fought hard, Lee stayed calm, knew what he had to do. And Lee now just has one single tour left of this Las Vegas circuit before he can call himself a Las Vegas Grand Prix winner. Through the first sector he comes, and this will be a very nice tour of the Las Vegas Grand Prix circuit for Lee. You can hear the music going off on the infield, and Lee will know that this is definitely one of his best performances to date. He makes his way past the Venetian Hotel. On the left side, you've got the Atlas Hotel. And now past the Winners Plaza and onto the Las Vegas Strip for one final time. Past the Hard Rock Cafe. Past Caesar's Palace. You can see the Paris Hotel on the left-hand side. And Lee Dog with a dominant performance here in the Viking Racing League tonight. Nobody could stop him. And Lee Dog, top dog once more on the top step of the podium. Lee Dog to the final corner. And he is the winner of the Las Vegas Grand Prix with a dominant showing. It's Emre Kirker who will finish in second place. 13.2 seconds off of Lee Dog. And definitely not the result he would have hoped for. It's going to be Rassam, who finishes third after an incredible performance to get to the final step of the podium. It's NX Furtos, who will finish in fourth place, with Hawkeye in fifth, leading home his teammate in sixth. It's Tubi West, who will finish seventh, with Tortuguita in eighth. Noah's Ark here from fifth down to 10th, as the two McLarens finish 9th and, well, I was going to say 9th and 10th, but VRLC Brazil has other ideas about that and moves into the final points paying position. It's then Skyline who will finish in 11th, with Tornado Kane finishing in 12th. Well, what a Grand Prix that was, and Lee Dog absolutely dominating out in front. What a drive from this man, and I am already starting to run out of superlatives for this man. Incredible performance, and he is your Las Vegas Grand Prix winner. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. My name has been JP. I've been your commentator. If you are new to the JCC Network Twitch channel, please do consider dropping a follow down below. What a race that was in Las Vegas, and what a performance from Lee. Again, thank you very much for watching, and from me to you, wherever you are.